Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution and accounting firm owners. We have such an interesting topic. I'm going to learn from this one today also. It's going from local search to new clients and turning your Google profile into a growth tool. And the conversation today is with Becky Livingston. So you are in the right place if you want to learn how to use your Google business profile to attract new accounting clients, discover local SEO strategies that actually help firms rank higher in search results, even if you are a small firm, because size doesn't matter when it comes to SEO. Find out how to manage reviews to boost your firm's visibility and credibility. If you are someone that wants to be able to improve that, then I suggest you get out a place to get notes, because Becky is going to be very generous in how she shares. And we're going to also let you know how you connect with her further as we wrap up. A little bit about Becky is Becky Livingston is the CEO of Penheel Marketing. It's a New Jersey-based firm that specializes in digital marketing for CPAs and accounting firms. She has over 30 years of experience in marketing and technology, and Becky loves helping those small to mid-sized firms attract clients through strategies like Google Business Profiles, SEO, and social media. She's also the author of 4 books on marketing for accountants. She's an adjunct professor, a HubSpot partner, and an active member of the Association for Accounting Marketing, AAM, and she speaks at those conferences too. Becky brings practical, proven strategies. You're going to get some of them here, and these are going to be things, just listen, get insight, and then get inspired to take one action from our conversation today. And her website is penheel.com. So I'll go ahead and have that in the notes below as well. But if you want to be able to learn more, go to Penheel. It's PENHEEL.com. Becky, I'm so looking forward to the conversation. So thank you for joining me.
Thanks for inviting me. It's a wonderful topic. I wish more people took advantage of this.
Absolutely. And with that being said, just wanted to get some ideas to how did you get from, first starting out in your career to really helping accounting firm owners be able to get found on the internet?
It's really kind of crazy. I actually started out as a programmer, and I was programming finance systems. So that's how it all started. Finance was always been in the background. I went from programming to going back to school for marketing communications, and worked for a couple of engineering firms after that. But then I came back to KPMG accounting again in 2001. And I worked in that organization for multiple partners directly and learned even more about the industry. And then I went to the AICPA and their marketing division at CPA to Biz, which is now CPA.com, worked in the marketing division there and supported the AICPA. And during that time is when I said, holy cow, there are so many people out there that need help with marketing. In 2011 is when I started Penheel, and it's been going gangbusters for the last 15 years. So I'm ecstatic. I love to help firms get online, learn how to use tools and resources that are available to them.
And when we're talking about Google Business Profile specifically, it's been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And it might be that a firm owner has it because they ought to, but it's just crickets. Nothing's happening. So how can they actually end up maybe seeing some results and it leading to new clients for them?
That's a great question. Yes, a lot of people do have the profile. There's hundreds of thousands of profiles out there, not just accounting firms. And one of the challenges that people have is they put the profile out there and then they don't go visit it. They don't update the hours. They don't add any posts to it. They don't actually complete their profile. One of the giveaways I have today is a Google Business Profile booklet to help people complete their profile, make sure they're in the right category, make sure they're listing their services. It's one of those set it and forget it things. People totally forget that they have them. and they don't update if their services change. They don't update if they add a new industry or remove an industry. They don't add any posts to the profile to help them get found, especially for trending topics. This year in particular, we have so many tax changes. You could post 3 times a week just with the OBBA, HR1. It's so much easier. The tax changes, right? I mean, why that's important is because Google business profiles are great for local search. So if you're a smaller firm and you're trying to get found locally within a 50-mile radius of your physical office space, this is a win-win because it's free.
Hmm. And when I first went from a brick and mortar business over to a virtual business, I actually wasn't able to continue with my Google profile once I updated my address because I wasn't using a physical address. I didn't want to put my home address on the internet for everybody to see. Has that changed for businesses or firm owners now who are home-based and no longer have the brick and mortar office?
That's a great question. I work from my home as well, and I have a GPS, a Google Business Profile, and there's a checkbox that you can put in there. You have to put in an address. I put my home address, but I don't want it to show up. There is a checkbox that you can click in the process of completing your profile that says either virtual business or don't display my location, but you have to put in a location. Some people have put in their post box. Their United States Postal Service offers these quote unquote addresses. The challenge with putting those in is when someone clicks on the directions, it's going to take them to your post office. That
Mm-hmm.
might be fine because you don't want them to find your home. But if you do like want to show people where they can meet with you, maybe you pick a local coffee shop, a co-working space, your library, I don't know, someplace where you can meet with them publicly to help them find you. But you do not have to list your home address or location in your profile.
And it's just one aspect of how Google continues to adapt and change,
Yeah,
realizing that not everybody's in an office any longer. There's more and more virtual
yeah,
businesses than ever before. So
absolutely.
when we think about now, as you mentioned, for the virtual businesses, the profile part of it, is there any other recommendations as far as the information that needs to be in your profile so that you stand out from your other local competitors as opposed to blending in?
That's a great question. One of the things to think about is if, that unique selling proposition that we have, what is it that sets your firm apart from every other firm? Because I work with at least 82 firms in a given year, and there's 44,000 of them in the United States. You think about everybody says, oh, we're, professional, experienced. Everybody uses these same words. So what is it about your firm that sets you apart? Is it years of experience? Do you specialize in an industry? Do you have people that do different kinds of training other than the CPE? Are they getting certified in other areas? Putting that information in your profile can really help you to stand out because the people who are searching for CPAs are looking for a CPA in an industry. They're looking for
Hmm.
a veterinarian CPA, a construction CPA, manufacturing distribution, real estate, crypto, whatever it is. If you have a specialty that you can combine with a unique selling proposition point, that's where it's going to help you to stand out instead of using the same words everybody else uses.
Okay. When we're talking about the same words, I also see that a lot of these smaller firms, the boutique firms that maybe have solo up to possibly five on payroll, those descriptions sound so stuffy,
Yeah.
like they are one of the top four. And they're not one of the big four. They are solo. And so any thoughts about how to be able to about being warmer and or maybe a little bit more conversational so that it does actually bring someone in instead of turn someone off?
That's a great question. I have a client in Colorado that often talks about firm bloat, and he says, is your accounting firm too big for what you need? Or Does it not provide the specialized or customized services that you might need for your business?
Mm,
Because there's a lot of big firms coming into where he is in Colorado. And he's saying all these little firms are getting gobbled up by the big firms, and the big ones don't necessarily want to specialize in the smaller businesses. And when I say smaller, I mean 5 million and under in revenue a year. When you think about your smaller firm or even a solo practitioner, using terms like customized, tailored, interested in, to make it feel more human. When you want to work one-on-one with someone, you want to know that they can listen to what you have to say and customize a solution based on your business. Don't give
hmm
me the run amok with 3 different profile platforms and you're going to spend this much, or this month every month. And you're like, I don't need half of any of those services.
hmm
So having customized tailored solutions, that's another great phrase, customized tailored solutions for whatever industries it is that
hmm
you support. I can't tell you how many of my clients support construction, manufacturing, real estate, law firms, dental practices, veterinary practices. So when I look at their profiles, I use terms in their profile for those industries
hmm
because construction has different needs than manufacturing, that has different needs than e-com, that has all of these industries have different needs. So you have quite a bit of space with your profile to put in an About Us section. You can
hmm
also add your industries. And what that helps with is if someone searches for CPA near me in Google search, and the Google search engine knows that they look at veterinary stuff all the time because they're a vet clinic,
Right.
they're going to look at algorithm's going to look at your profile and say veterinary services CPA near me or accountant near me within a 50-mile radius because you said veterinary,
Hmm.
veterinary clinic, practice, whatever the term might be, but you said the word veterinary. That's how it helps you to stand out.
Then it's a combination of having the right words that Google is going to recognize for the SEO, the search engine optimization, but also one that's going to let a potential client realize, oh my gosh, this is the person I've been looking for.
Exactly right.
So it has a dual purpose.
Yep, absolutely.
And one of the things that I see with firm owners is they don't want to be marketers. They don't really understand marketing and they hate asking for reviews.
Oh, I know.
They become those stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, is there maybe a process for being able to naturally, in an authentic way, encourage a client that adores you or that you got a great result for to be able to leave a Google review on your profile?
It's really easy for people to leave a review. It's a 3-step process. 1, you contact them. When you contact them, in your contact, you put a link to your Google review button. That's step 2. Contact, put the link. 3, give them a sample.
Mm-hmm.
What we find when we do that with clients that actually actively ask for reviews, their clients don't just copy and paste the sample, which is nice. You don't want 50 samples to
Right.
be exactly the same on your reviews. What they find is it gives them an idea of how to write a review
Mm-hmm.
and what to say. So I have a client in Massachusetts. We worked on his profile last year because he had just started. He said, I need a profile. Can you help me? And we said, sure. And we helped him put it together, the profile description and everything. But then we gave him the instructions. We gave him an email he can send to his existing clients with the 3-step process. We gave him a phone script in case he's talking to a client who says, oh my gosh, you just saved me X amount of dollars in my tax return. And he's like, oh, wonderful. Would you love to write a review for us? I can send you the 3-step process. And we have a little script. We also have information on how you can put that on your website as a potential button, write a review.
Mm-hmm.
So it connects directly to your Google profile, which is the easiest thing, connects directly to your Google profile so someone can write a review. It's a very simple process. I know people don't like asking for them, but you and I both know, and everyone else knows who buys things on the internet, you're looking for reviews.
Mm-hmm.
What do people think about this product, service, brand? So why not?
And I think that that's something that all of us can learn from Amazon
Yeah.
is that when I'm looking at all the different options that I can choose from for this particular product that I want to buy, I am absolutely looking at the reviews to
Yep.
see if it was a great product and people love it. I'm looking at some of the worst ones as to why
Yep.
maybe they didn't love it, how many they have is going to influence my decision. So if it is going to go ahead and influence, listen to me, everybody that's, uh, tuning in is that if it's going to influence how you buy a merchandise, one product, a one-time thing, it's going to have the same resonance for someone
Yep.
who's looking to invest in a higher end service. It's one way to be able to go ahead and stand out because client reviews have more impact
Yep.
than what you're going to say about yourself.
It's true. It's very true. It's almost crazy how important the reviews are because you as the person viewing the
Mm-hmm.
reviews, looking at the reviews, is putting faith in in what the people are saying, positive or negative. So you did mention the negative reviews, and that's
Mm-hmm.
a big pain point. People
Yeah.
often ask me, how do I get rid of the negative reviews? Well, it's not the easiest process in the world. There's a few steps and tips that you can do to get rid of
Mm-hmm.
reviews, but they really have to be bullying, harassment, that kind of thing. So it's a little difficult. But let's say you do get a 3 or a 2, maybe even a 1-star review. How you handle that in your Google review process can be just as important as the positive reviews that you get. So let's say someone has a poor experience. So this happened with a client. They contacted the office and they said the receptionist was terrible. She was not professional, whatever. They put that in the review and they asked us, what can we counsel on this? What should we do? And we suggested that first start off by saying, thank you for letting us know. We're going to reach out to our receptionist and maybe we'll do some additional training with them to find out what happened. The other option is one, you're thanking them for letting you know because you might not know because you don't call your receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
Or they know you're calling and they treat you differently, maybe. I don't know. But the way in which you handle the negative review, if you come back out of the gate hot and mean and pounding the pavement saying, that's wrong, you're terrible, that's a terrible review, take it down. If you're that person and you post that online, that's going to influence how people might respond to you.
Okay, so 3 simple steps is
Yep,
it, and I know that we all fear that negative review, like it's going to go ahead and ruin our business.
right.
But the thing is that how you respond is what matters. Don't get defensive. Don't go
Correct.
blaming or anything like that. Don't get into this argument or what you want to do is first acknowledge, thank you for letting us know. That
Yep.
lets you know that you heard. Then what you want to do is go ahead and address the concern that they had. And maybe an advanced move is about showing them how you took action to resolve it. So 3 things to think about in your response is acknowledge, address the concern, and then even go ahead and share what action. And that response is going to actually maybe even turn an angry client into someone who comes
Yep.
back and replies about, I really was so pleased that they went ahead and heard what we had to
Yep.
say. They did this. Or it shows someone coming to your Google Business Review for the first time that you actually are open to feedback and you take action on it.
And listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is there anything positive in your experience, Becky, that you've seen with one of your clients about how they did respond to one and how that maybe turned that negative into a positive?
Exactly. Yes, I have seen that where we have had a couple of old reviews. These could be years ago. And because they weren't updating their profile or posting to it, that negative review sits there.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say you need to reach out and start getting new reviews from people, it pushes the negative review down.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yep.
goes to the bottom of the list, back as far as it can go. If you're addressing the challenge that the person has put out there, One of the things we found is someone was claiming one of our clients did something, and he's like, that's not my firm. It's a firm that sounds like my firm. So we had to go through Google and get it taken down.
Mm-hmm.
By doing that, it was able to get that off the list. For those people who have actually responded to a review that they've received that's negative, the other person comes back in, because the person who posts the review, you respond, they see your response, they get a notification that you've responded, and that can start a positive chain of reaction. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the feedback. So we have seen some clients get that review turned around. The person can't write, change their existing review, but they can write another one.
Mm-hmm. And I know that from a personal experience, when I've reviewed someone else's business, I periodically get an email notification from Google letting me know how many other people might have seen my review, or
Yep.
maybe even that was helpful for someone else.
Yep.
And, that's a feel good for me that I actually took the time to write a review for
Yep.
somebody, and that it maybe has helped to make an impact. One of the things I think is so important, because it's not maybe something that most people are aware of, is yes, you can continue to post on your profile because it improves visibility. So I just wanted to reiterate, what are some of the main ways that you suggest posting?
That's a great question. One of the things to think about is if you're already posting on social media, let's say you're posting on LinkedIn on a regular basis, you can use that same post on your Google business profile. You can't use hashtags, but you can use the same exact post, the same link. The graphic may need to be adjusted. It depends on how you're doing it, but you can use the same post. So when I do this for my clients, the first thing we start out with is, what is your business goal? If it's lead generation, how many leads, what industries, geography, that kind of thing. Because that's also going to influence what I'm putting on that Google business profile, because that will be the first thing people will find about your brand, always. Even if they're not looking for your brand name, because they're not going to know your brand name if they don't know you exist. That's the first thing they're going to see, is content that you've posted about whatever topic it is they have a pain point against, or a topic that they have an interest in, or their industry. Let's say, for example, we're working with, we're into Q4 now, so let's say we're talking about year-end tax pain points, accounting, getting things updated, bookkeeping. People might be like, I haven't done my books in months. I don't even want to look at my books. I hate doing my books. You can put a post on your Google business profile that is communicating that message. Struggling with closing your books? We can help.
Yeah.
And you have just a little bit of text. You have a link over to your website. You have a picture or a video, and that's as simple as it is. If you're struggling with writing the posts, I have tons of post tips and already written stuff on my website, but you can always use AI to help you with that.
And some firms do have somebody in-house that's maybe a little bit more savvy. They might be doing some of their social media posting. Can you go ahead and give admin access to someone else so that they can do the posting for you and you don't have to do it yourself?
Yes, it's a manager level, so they don't have full access to the account. They have manager level, which gives them the opportunity to post on behalf of the organization. And it would not show their personal name on the post. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that you want to be maybe intentional with what you're posting. Think about the seasonality of what's coming up at this time of year. Also how that is connected to your goal, and that you don't actually have to do the posting yourself. You can hire someone like Becky's firm to be able to do this for you, because this is what she does all day, every day. If you have someone else that might be already doing some of your marketing, just give them that manager level access, and then they can do the posting here on the Google business page in addition to the other social media platforms.
Correct.
And okay, we're talking about firm owners. They love tracking the key performance indicators. Metrics are something that they live by. So any particular metrics that they ought to be looking at once they start doing this?
That's a fabulous question. Google will actually send you an update every week or month, depending on how often you're posting,
Mm-hmm.
and will tell you what's going on. First, they'll tell you impressions. An impression is how many times has your profile shown up in a search result. It doesn't mean someone's looking for you. It doesn't mean they clicked. It just means someone looked for something that your Google business profile says, oh, that information's in my profile, and it showed up in the stream results.
Mm-hmm.
Impressions is one. Thousands of impressions you'll see in a month. That's great for branding to get your name out there. The second one is going to be directions. How many people asked for directions? You're going to see that number in the list. I don't know if that's important to firms. I look at the number, I'm like, I don't care how many people ask for directions. I want to know who walked through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So directions, it's there, but it's not a great number. You know, it's not something that you really bet the bank on. Clicks. It also shows you how many people saw the profile and clicked on it, meaning they got over to the website or wherever you're driving them in the link. If it's your set up a consultation Calendly link, if it's a landing page to download something, if it's a link over to your Contact Us, it will show clicks. How many people clicked on a link, went over to your website. At that point, Google stops tracking it. Then it starts to be tracked by your website. So there's, and you'll also see an update in reviews. How many reviews were posted, how many likes, comment, shares on
Mm-hmm.
those reviews.
Okay, then you will get the metrics sent to you. You don't have to go into your Google account and look for them. Impressions help with branding, directions, maybe they help. If you have a virtual business, it might not be as
Right.
helpful, but you want to be able to also get the insights of how many people saw your profile, as well as the click-through rate on whatever that call for action was. And then the last thing, which is the golden part, is update for reviews.
Yep.
So when you're looking at that, can you give me an example of maybe one of your clients that you started working on this, and about what was the timeline before they started to see results, and how did it, and what was maybe the return on the investment that they got because they started paying attention to their Google business profile?
Some of my clients don't pay any attention to it at all, no matter what. If I
Mm-hmm.
send them the numbers, if I send them whatever, because they'll say the number is new client. Not that
Right.
not a prospect, but I do have one client that we set up the profile within, no kidding, I love that he's so engaged with this. A week after we got the profile set up and his reviews on the system, he received a new client from Google Business because he asks them, how do you find me? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's a solo practitioner. How did you find me? And the person said, I found you on Google search. And that person became a client. He's been doing this now for about 12 months. He has 5.0 reviews all the time. His clients are always going in there and doing it. He has told me he's gotten 10 new clients this year. I didn't even know if that for sure was his goal. His goal to me was getting your profile on
Right.
Google. So he's received 10 new clients this year. The cost for me to set up his profile was minimal because it's free to do for him. It's very minimal for me. We're talking couple $100 for me to go through the research and build it and put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't post anything on his review. He does it. He does all of the Google everything. So he's the one maintaining it. He's the one sending out the review requests. And he's gotten 10 new clients in a year. So as a solo practitioner, he can now say, I have 10 bigger clients than my smaller clients. So do I need to go back and look and adjust my revenue and pricing? And I don't know, does he keep the smaller clients? I don't know, but he's
Mm-hmm.
done a great job. I've had other clients I do have a client in Connecticut. We only post on his Google profile. Small firm, two partners, and they specialize in several different areas than most of my clients. And he gets clients consistently each month. He gets a new client every month in one of the 5 industries that we specialize in for him. So every month he's getting a new request through
Mhm.
Google because of the information we're putting online directed to different industries that they specialize in.
Then we're talking about the ROI right now. If you don't want to do the writing yourself, you don't know what to say, writing is difficult because you get stuck on that right word. You can have Becky do it for you. It is an investment that, as you heard with that one client, is many, many times over. It is an investment. It's not a cost. So that is something to think about. And if you want to continue to be top, but you don't want to, once again, do it yourself because you are already maxed out with time and it's not the best use of your time, you could have Becky or someone like Becky do the posting for you so that it is done strategically and you continue to stay top of mind because Google loves it when you continue to post new content. It is something that will have you stand out. One of the questions I was going to say, as you was talking about this first firm owner, were all the new clients that came, those 10 new clients, were they all regional or were they from various parts of the country?
Regional, because Google Business Profiles only display in a 50-mile radius of where the person who's searching is looking. So it's not where your firm is located. It is where the person who is searching is located. So I'm in New Jersey, right outside of New York City. If I were to look at CPA near me, I would not only get New Jersey, I'd also get New York City because it's a 50-mile radius. So if I were in Montana and I did the search, CPA near me, it would show me the 50-mile radius of that physical location of me and my phone or my computer at that time. It doesn't base it on Becky lives in New Jersey.
Right.
And gives me the New Jersey people. It tells me by my physical location where I'm doing the search.
Okay, good to know. So this is good if you want to get more of those regional clients as opposed to people from anywhere.
Correct.
And so that brings up another thought. If you wanted to be able to maybe expand beyond your neighborhood, is there a way to be able to go ahead and do that with some of the communities that are nearby?
That's a great question. Sometimes we have small firms that have businesses in multiple office buildings in a geography, but the geographies don't really overlap. They're just far enough away from each other that it would be a new location. You do have to go through the same process. You open up a second profile and it has a new address. So if you're thinking about expanding in your region, maybe you live in Pennsylvania, one side of the state's a lot further away than the other side of the state. You could have multiple locations, but you do have to have a physical presence there, meaning when Google goes to verify it, you have to have the office location. You have to be able to stand in your office, take the video, or give them information that verifies you have a physical location or an office location in that place where you're saying you do. So Google does verify it.
Okay. And let me just clarify, is it that if they want to be able to expand, do they need a separate profile for each location or can they blend them together?
They can list them all in one profile, but the geography will not. You can only have one address per
Okay.
profile.
So they might need to have 3 different profiles
Correct.
as one for each area.
Correct.
Got it. Becky, I continue to learn from every single time we have conversations. You know a ton. You're very generous when it comes to marketing for firm owners. Some of the things that we talked about today is being able to optimize or even realize what you can do with your Google business profile to attract some of those new clients. There's some local SEO strategies that we went into to be able to be higher in the search, especially if you're one of those smaller firms, you don't have an in-house marketing department, and being able to manage the reviews because it helps with visibility as well as credibility. So if somebody wants to be able to connect with you, you mentioned a resource earlier, what is the best way for them to do that for you and Penheel Marketing?
That's a great question. I do have a contact page, of course, on my website, Penheel, Penheel. It's all E's. Becky E. Penheel, all E's.com, penheel.com. And it shows the services we offer as well as our contact us page. And I also have a Google Business Profile guide that you can download on the resources link on our on the site. It's right in the top 10 things that we offer as a resource. So I'm also on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. I'm all over the place because
Yep.
I work with firms that are on all different kinds of platforms. So
Anyway, Becky, thank you so much for the engaging conversation. And I so appreciate what you've shared for firm owners to be able to elevate their presence online as well as attract more of those quality clients to their firm.
thank you so much for inviting me.
And for everybody that joined us today, thank you so much. This is Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, showing accounting firm owners how to be able to double their revenue working half the